filter one kite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. We are live, and we are coming to you from lifestyleradio.net and .ca. I'm your host, Al Graham. Tonight, we are coming to you live from the front window of Canada's, located here in downtown Campbellford. And if you're in the area, stop on in and get involved in the radio show. Tonight, I'm joined by my joint host, Alicia Yashcheshen, and she is perhaps a guest that loves to help people get access to cannabis medication, plus so much more. But before we find out more about our guests, it's time for Alicia and I to have a bit of a chat. Oh, there goes a police car. Lights going and sirens and everything. Hi, Alicia, how are you?
Hey, Al, I'm great. Excuse me, how are you?
I'm doing good. What a view from the window here. Like I said, a police car just went flying by with sirens going and the lights on. Small town, you know. You don't see that all the time. Just like eyewitness news. It's eyewitness police reports. Talking about police reports, I seen our friend Tracy Lemoire. She posted something earlier today, which is a bit of a report, where she talks about a bit of a Project Claudia effect going on in Hamilton. Did you happen to see that?
Well, so my question is these raids are going to take place again, but we don't even know if the Cannabis Act is actually going to pass. Like, there's been some hearsay kind of rumor that I heard that it wasn't going to pass. What is it?
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, so if you raid all the dispensaries in hopes of legalization, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, and you're violating the human rights of your patients who need access to that medication with or without political interference. It's quite simple.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know. I see here that Tracy says that 3 dispensary raids happened this morning, 2 yesterday, 6 on Thursday, 1 last Wednesday. And they're some of the ones that she's aware of. A place called Georgia Peach Wellness Clinic, Blue Ox, High Grade, Eden, MMJ's. Quite the list. She wonders whether they have a new dispensary task force there. Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going all over the place there. They like they did there in Toronto. What was about a year and a half ago with Project Claudia. Now they're doing it in Hamilton, going out of the dispensaries, trying to shut down things before legalization. Would this be why places like Regina want the police forces want big money for legalization? Are they trying to get to the government to pay for all these raids?
Well, it begs the question, right? Like, I think it's asinine, the raids in Saskatchewan, because there's no guarantee that act will pass. I guess I was just thinking about it. It's going to have to, because all of these provinces and territories are preparing for legalization. And if they pull the plug at the last minute, like, that's wow. But I guess that they are the federal government, and, like, supposing they've done it in the past, right?
Yeah, no.
But I think that the LP market can't cater to the medicinal market, and it'll take another lawsuit, to stop that.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna handle all this. Plus, do their European markets as well. Yeah, because lots out there, and like you say. Well, there was a bit of discussion recently on Facebook I had with a couple of people. And there was one of my friends was saying that he's got his friends that are running out of cannabis through their LP that are located in Alberta. These patients are in Alberta, and they're trying to deal with an LP, and they keep running out of cannabis. But I got another person who says that all these LPs never run out of cannabis anymore. What are you hearing?
Well, the LPs in Saskatchewan, they are the original, like, producer of Health Canada is ditchweed. So it's Cannabis. Yeah. And so it boggles my mind how people even order from them, let alone can't supply enough. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's not a problem here. Like, I think that they probably have to, like, beg customers.
Yeah. Yeah, because I see, well, you're out there in Saskatchewan. I see that, the Regina Police Force, they're asking for, what is it, another couple $1 million. Oh, there goes an ambulance. A couple $1 million annually for increased costs. What would we be looking at for increased costs under cannabis legalization? What kind of thing goes up when you legalize it?
Because they get officer dollars for like enforcing marijuana and like raids and stuff. So
they're already doing that now.
Big budget.
They're already doing that now. Like, why would that? They won't be doing that after legalization. They shouldn't have to. Are they thinking they're going to be doing more raids?
Then, or there's no war on anything then, right?
Yeah.
And it was poor Cannabis that's always played this, like, a sick victim in that it has to be the one who bears the burden that they get all the dollars for, because remember, it's like this devil's weed. Like, we're taking a big budget away from them by legalizing. So now they're trying to claim that they need more money because it's going to be legal, but they're scared because they're going to lose their dollars. And so they should. Their time should be spent in community policing, not going after people who grow plants. Like, come on, in the year 2018, get real.
Yeah, go after more serious crime for sure. That's
exactly.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, well, let's switch gears here. Move on to our guests. All right?
Awesome.
Okay, well, at this time, I'd like to welcome the person I described as someone who helps people get access to cannabis medication and so much more. So we'd like to welcome Genny Guenther to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Hello, Genny. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day to you, too.
Happy
Gotta love
love
a day like today. Right? That's what I love about today. That's what we're all about here. So
yes. What was that? What was that you said, Alicia? Happy what day?
Happy Love Day.
Day. Oh, okay. All right. Just wasn't sure what I heard.
Of course, I'm a kid that can't fall in line that uses Valentine's Day, so I,
Love
Day.
It is. And how was Valentine's Day for you?
Valentine's Day was fantastic for me. I spent it with friends. What about you?
Did you?
Yeah, I had a bunch of patients and friends come by, and they all brought chocolate, so it was a pretty good day.
Nice. Come for a visit and help you out with your sweet tooth.
Now you're talking, right? I mean, I don't know many people who medicate who turn down a snack, right? So.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's right. Okay, Genny, just give you a quick thing here. I'll hand the reins over to Alicia. She'll ask questions, and I'll jump in along the way if I got a question or when we go to a commercial break. All right?
Sounds great.
Okay, it's over to you, Alicia. Get things rolling.
Thanks. Awesome, thanks. So welcome. Happy to have you on. I've wanted you on for a while now, so thank you.
Oh, I'm very excited. I love to talk.
Awesome. So I guess where I'm going to go first is I'd like to know your first experience with cannabis and how cannabis was brought into your life.
I grew up in a fairly conservative environment, fairly conservative lifestyle. I was an athlete my whole life. Cannabis honestly wasn't a part of my life, to be truthful, up until like my 20s, when I experimented a couple times, but nothing serious. And then when I hit my late 20s, early 30s, I got very ill. And cannabis is where I turned, and it's kind of where my whole relationship started. I credit a lot of amazing things in my life turning around because of it.
Okay, so you said you found cannabis when you were ill.
Yes, when I got sick.
Yeah.
So after I had my daughter, I am an endometriosis patient. Right since my teens, I've been suffering in and off with painful surgeries and all different things my whole life. And after I had my daughter, things just got like way, way worse. to a point where I gained over 60 pounds. I was lying in bed. I had such horrific, painful bouts. I was passing out in the home. My last prescription was ketamine. I really didn't have any more hopes. So enter cannabis. I heard great things, and so I thought I'd give it a try.
So you tried the pharmaceutical route, and obviously it proved that it was quite risky for you.
Yes, I was on, I think, upwards of 7 medications. But the problem was I'd take one medication and it would just cause side effects so that I would have to take another medication.
Exactly.
Depression. Oh, the anxiety. I had never spent a minute in my life anxious until all those medications. I lost my confidence. I didn't know who I was when I looked in the mirror. My hair fell out. It was just every bad side effect you could possibly imagine, and they just kept throwing medications and surgery at it.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a life.
It
wasn't a life.
Yeah. And so how long were you chronically ill? Like, how long did this go on?
This went on, you know what? I would say it was a really good, where it was, I was pretty much bedridden for a good solid 2 years on and off. I would do my best to have a couple of days, but it would take me 5-6 days to recover after a day out. You know, and that would make it more difficult to recover every single time. So I eventually just kind of started staying in my bedroom.
And then, so how did cannabis come about?
So I had done some reading. I had a few friends and a few neighbors who had kind of talked to me about it here and there. And, you know, it wasn't even actually something that I overly discussed with my spouse. But it felt like a personal journey and something for me to try. So we were actually in the process of selling our home here in Alberta and looking for a new one. And there was a lag time in between the two homes. So there was an 8-week process. So I actually went down to the U.S. and used cannabis there to try to avoid judgment, believe it or not. So I stayed at another, I knew some friends down there, and I thought, well, at least no one's judging me while I'm trying it full time. Kind of like a last-ditch effort, but I knew coming back that I didn't want other people to feel like they had to hide like I did. So that's kind of how I found it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so in the United States then, how is their system different and their products than in Canada?
Okay, yes, actually. And I can kind of tell you because initially I'm kind of fighting for myself buying it off the street down in Vegas, right? Because I don't really know anybody except for a few entertainers and people that I've met down there and things like that. But eventually I met a woman who had a medical license who would order for me. So I was able to actually just kind of pick from their medical product. Now, remember, back then, that was the first time I'd ever used cannabis in a regular basis. So was it good? I don't know. You know, I wasn't really.
But it helped. It seemed to help.
Yeah, night and day. Because what was funny is my life started changing. I actually had a girlfriend down there with me and my daughter. And one morning I thought that my pants were too big. And that the elastic had broken. I went down and I'd lost 17 pounds, and it was just because I was living again, not because I was at the gym, not because anything like. I was actually getting out of bed and living my life again. You know,
that's big.
It gave me the will to fight again, and not to give up.
I've been reading your story here on your website, and it's quite the story.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about. I get a little teary.
I can just imagine because it's your trip was quite the trip, and it was what as you say, when you got home, your husband was really happy to see it.
Yeah, he was in tears, and you know what's interesting is he's actually not even a cannabis user, but like he said to me, if unicorn tears the love of my life, then I'm cool with it, whatever it is. So. Whatever it was that brought me back, he's 100% behind, and now he just sees how great the plant is, and it saved our marriage, and it saved everything for us, really. Just gave us enough power and will. Yeah,
now that you've come out of the as they say, the cannabis closet,
right,
with him, and life's obviously, much better for you from what I'm reading here on your story.
That's right. I almost felt silly. To be honest, at the end, I felt a little silly, but I was so afraid to save my own life.
Yeah.
you know? And
Wow.
I didn't want anybody else.
Wow.
So it's kind of a realization.
When did that point come, I guess, for you, when you realized, like, I cured myself with cannabis?
Yeah, with cannabis. It was so crazy. So 6 weeks into I was in the States for 8 weeks straight. 6 weeks into my trip, I had been FaceTiming my husband, but only like really up close. So he didn't really know. I didn't want to give any false expectations because this happened, and I'm going, what if it's a placebo? What if this is just going to change? So he came down after 6 weeks, and when he got off the airplane, he just collapsed because I was me again. I was already down 36 pounds, and I was down to 2 medications in just 6 weeks. So he basically knew that there was no way I was going to go back the other way, and it was that realization point at that 6 week mark that I knew I got my life back.
So the medications that you took, were they highly addictive, or like?
Highly. Oh, Percocet like it was my job. Oxy. Like I said, I had ketamine, amitriptyline, topicals as well as oral. I've had, you name it, literally, gabapentin. I can go through just about every, Toradol, naproxen. I've been on all of them. Hydromorph. It's nothing changed it. I was using sometimes topically a 10% lidocaine, and it wasn't strong enough. You know, so it's incredible. The nerve, it's basically nerve change for me, nerve pain change. You know, and it gave me my life back, and I just knew I had to tell everybody. Because it was so different.
That was the fuel for your activism then, is that because it cured you?
Yeah, I hit the ground running when I came back.
When you experience it yourself, I know myself, I'm sure you're the same way. You wanted to share it with everybody. You had to share it with everybody.
That's right. I feel like now I'm lying to people as well. Like, people lied to me if I don't.
Yeah.
And I can't watch another person suffer in my shoes or lose their battle because they're afraid of a plant, like I was, you know.
Yeah, and then when someone sees what it did to you and benefited your life, and you've experienced it, it just changes so much. Yeah.
Oh, I keep like 2 boxes of Kleenex on my desk because I cry all the time because people see me in real life and it's relatable, you know, and they feel hopeful, and I get it, you know.
Yeah, people understand. They don't look down on you. Don't look at you as being a bad person. That's right, exactly.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's changed slowly but surely, you know, the face of it is changing.
Oh, for sure.
But, so yeah, and then I came back here, and that was that.
That was that.
And so,
go ahead, Alicia.
You said you said you went to the States because of fear of judgment, but like, who was that? Like family? Was that coworkers? Like, who were you in fear of being judged by?
I grew up. My parents aren't overly conservative, but I did grow up in a conservative Catholic environment in Calgary. You know, home of the Stampede and in the oil industry. You know, that's my family. That's where we're from. It was very bred into us. You know, the DARE program and you know, all of those stereotypical things. I actually believed 100% until I got sick. Yeah, until I got sick. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I was like you until I got sick, where I didn't have any more choice.
So then when you got back to Canada, finish your thought.
No. When I got back, go ahead.
When you got back to Canada, how did you find your medicine, or like, how did that go?
So then becomes the issue, right? Very good point. So I came back, and I had heard kind of before I'd left, I saw a newspaper article. It was on like the 10th page of the Herald or something here, and it was stating like possible marijuana clinic opening in Calgary. Doctor inquiring about possibly prescribing. What did you feel about it? It was kind of like a poll thing. And so I went on their website, and you know what? I booked an appointment, and I was one of their first few kind of patients. I brought my case. Which is literally files so thick, there's no way he even read them. And, like, you know, they would have taken days. I brought all my files, and it was the compassion in his eyes, and he just immediately went, no, this is for you. Let's give this a try. And ever since then, and I never really had a problem maintaining it because of my timing. My timing was good because the clinic was opening.
I can tell you, he's got he really supports cannabis use. I'm reading a little bit here on you. I'm assuming it's your husband. Yeah, and
yes, my husband.
Yeah, and he really supports it now. He's changed. The ways have changed.
Oh, have they ever changed? Now he's down there. He's in the shop begging me to work here, and learning how to grow and learning how to teach people and help people, because there's people calling daily, and he's able to help now too, going, oh, this stuff's awesome. Like we say, we put this on everything because it works so well.
Yeah.
So I educated him, and now he's educating others. So we all need to do. It's going to take time.
That's awesome.
That's right. It does. It's going to take time. Some people have been at it for a long time, and just going to take time. There's a lot of people out there whose minds need to be changed, and sometimes you can only do it a few at a time.
Yeah, just as mine did. I needed to be changed.
So, okay, Alicia, we've got about 7 or 8 minutes till we go to break.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, I think I'm going to throw out. I'm going to ask you a trivia question because it's.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Trivia questions.
Okay.
So, let's see here. Which bird symbolizes Valentine's Day?
I think the trick answer would be swan, because that's what you ride in that love tunnel. So I don't know, but, right? Don't you think that would be like the
swan? That's a big possibility,
right? Because you always see that. Oh.
Is the swan a bird though? Is that part of like that family?
Does it fly? I think
big.
What would you call it then? If it's not a bird,
a big bird.
Oh.
It's a really big bird.
They fly further than chickens, don't they?
I would think so. I don't know. I don't think they're that friendly, from what I've heard either.
No.
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 I don't know. Let's go with swan.
Swan?
Am I wrong?
Okay, Alicia.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's incorrect.
No, did I lose?
Oh, we got a broken heart.
It's dove.
Dove?
It's a dove.
That's peace, isn't it? I'm so confused. Isn't a dove like the bird of peace?
Yes, it is.
How did it get in for love?
I don't know. So. Peace, love, love, peace.
I guess throughout history, it symbolizes Valentine's Day. The bird, like a dove.
Now, it's Valentine's Day, and just to show that I am thinking about my wife right now, I'm going to throw out the next question.
Aww.
Yeah. Love Shack is a 1980 single by which music group? And the reason I bring that up is because that was one of the songs that always got me off the table, or off the chairs, and up on the dance floor after I had a few.
Aww, I love it.
So,
it's got good background vocals.
Yeah. So, which group?
I think it's Love Shack, is it?
Love Shack is the song.
By B-52.
Correct. It's also a very popular drink.
Yes. I might bust a move on the dance floor a little when that song comes on.
I don't know. And even still to the day, the wife looks over at me. If we're out someplace and that song comes on, she looks over at me. You getting you gonna go up and dance? Or she go up and request it, so I got off. Otherwise, we could have been sitting there all night long, right? So.
Right. That's usually a lady's job, isn't it? We got to ask for the dance. Guys usually will once we ask. Remember in junior high when we all used to stand on separate walls until one person would cross the dance floor?
Wallflowers.
Right. I remember myself many an awkward dance moments.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, Alicia, You got another question? You can throw another question out. We got 5 minutes to go for break.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm going to go with what percentage of women send roses to themselves on Valentine's Day?
First off, that's a great idea.
Why didn't I think
too? I don't know. I feel like, are the stores still open? Can we call still?
Probably.
Right,
somewhere.
What would you like? The best ones you have. I don't know.
Let's go. Okay, I'll give you 3 choices. 15%, 50%, or 75%.
Whoa. I'm going to go with 15. There can't be that many women who buy themselves flowers.
Yay!
Yay!
That's correct.
You get a heart on that answer.
Higher. Sorry?
She gets a heart for that answer.
I get a heart for that one?
Yeah, you got it right.
All right. How about I hit a question? I got one.
Okay.
All right. What does the word Valentine mean?
Cricket, chirp, chirp, chirp. Valentine's. Well, there's a lot of hearts. There's a lot of hearts in Valentine's Day. And there's chocolates involved with
Maybe
Valentine's.
It's sweet.
And they're sweet. So, sweetheart.
Ding, 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 ding,
Ding,
ding.
ding.
Yay!
Hey.
One doobie for you.
One doobie for me. Hey, all right. Hey, if
You're giving out hearts. I'm giving out dudes.
I just want a dude. Wayne, can I smoke it in here? He said, sure, you can send it down the line. All righty. Good. All right.
That's us.
Next question.
We had a bunch of people in today that were all buying gifts for their loved one. This is my kind of Valentine's Day today.
Good.
Have you guys seen the lady in a tramp pipe?
I'm sure I want to get in. I know Alicia is looking to get into what all your what you offer and all that as far as the business end.
Yeah, there's some
but we're
pipe
we're so close
love.
to break, and I don't want to get into the
middle of
the
don't
break.
do it yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold off on you.
No, I was just telling you one pipe. It's adorable. It makes people look like they're kissing when they smoke it. I saw it online.
Really?
Yeah, it's super cute. I don't have it yet, but it makes them. It's like you share a bowl together. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Really cute. I know. It's like Lady. It looks like Lady and the Tramp almost.
Alicia, you didn't post that picture today. Did you get a picture of this pipe of hers?
No,
I have. I'm just imagining that
online.
It's probably. Yeah, yes, she saw it online, but I'm probably imagining that it's probably pretty nifty, eh?
It's adorable.
You got one here, Wayne?
I'll try and find a picture of it.
Oh, is that a pipe over there that two people could smoke out of and look like there's kissing?
Yeah. It's a his and hers bubbler.
A his and hers bubbler.
Yeah. There you go.
Like,
see?
Yeah, he's got one right here in the store. Valentine's pipe.
See, isn't that cute?
Oh, Alicia,
see, I wouldn't share though because I like it all. I like all of the cannabis.
Who operates the chokehold?
That's exactly it. That might be a fight, you see.
Yeah.
It's a test your relationship kind of pipe.
It is. It looks, this is pretty cool.
Good idea, hey?
Yeah. Oh, I can't even take a picture of it. All right. There, Wayne. I don't want to break it, buddy.
All right.
Valentine's pipe. I'll have to get it up for my wife, but she doesn't smoke.
I'm sure flowers and diamonds will do.
Yeah, they will. Actually, I gave her a card today that mentions about how we're always so busy, and maybe we don't see each other until we get to bed, or sort of that sort of theme. And then half an hour later, I left. I had to come into town to do the radio show.
So the card was fitting.
The card was fitting, yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to our break. Let's go to a break now, and then when we come back from the break, we can hear all about your business.
Sounds cool.
Okay, Jenny? All right.
All right.
All right. Okay with you, Alicia?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Okay, tonight's bumper, being that today's Valentine's, and there's what did you say, Alicia? 220,000 wedding proposals on Valentine's Day?
Yeah. That's astonishing, eh?
So our listeners are going to hear I think Wayne proposed on
It's my 9th engaged anniversary.
Oh, it's nice. We got one here too. So we're going to hear a song. We're going to hear a song from Lefty Nelson, who is going to propose to the woman of his love. So, love of his life. And he wants to marry somebody by the name of Juana. When we return, we're going to continue our talk with our guest, Genny Guenther. This is the P.A.C.E Radio Show, and we are live here at lifestyleradio.net.
Hey, this is Cheech. And this is Chong. And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio. What is it? Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time. 420 Radio? Ooh.
Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
I took a Greyhound down to Tijuana to wed a pretty thing. Her name was Juana. She had big green eyes and long blonde hair. Great little curves everywhere. Oh, Juana.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
The following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet. www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
CTCP now operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CTCP.
Man, have you been to Cannadays yet? Cannadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck and wholesaler Nexus. Cannadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Cannadays can help. They're a P.A.C.E information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Cannadays. Have your say without saying a word. Cannadays.ca.
Help me, please. I need to spend the rest of my days with Wanda. I want to marry Wanda. She makes me feel so high, like I could touch the sky. Wanda.
Hello. You are listening to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. We are live here at lifestyleradio.ca, and we can be found on Spreaker, Showcast, TuneIn Radio. Plus, don't forget, if you're in the area here at Cannadays in downtown Campbellford, stop in and join in on the conversation. Tonight on the program, we are joined by our guest, Genny Guenther, the founder of Wildness Temple, and we're going to find out more about that very shortly. And my joint host, Alicia Yashcheshen. Well, ladies, where are we going now?
Two radio dates for Valentine's Day you've got.
Oh, really?
Your hands full.
Oh, hands full. I'm just... Hey. All
You're
right.
one lucky guy, hey?
Yeah.
Right.
Popular lady today. Okay,
So
Wayne
one of the
has
favorite
entered the
things
store.
that what? Sorry?
I said, Wayne has entered the store. I was waiting for him to enter the store because of the noise of the door. So, okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that one of my favorite things to do when I get aches and pains from all my car accidents is ganja yoga. And on the break, we heard some stuff about yoga, so I would like to hear more.
Yeah, yoga program. We're thinking we may not run a full-time yoga program this year, but what we're thinking is specialized events geared toward our community, like strain choices beforehand, healthy food options for afterwards, more of a retreat-style yoga day with ganja involved. And people seem so foreign to the subject, but like you and I were saying, what do you do to relax? You smoke a doobie. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great to do while you were also relaxing doing yoga?
Just
so well.
Just think of
it's like heaven, right? Especially with
meant
edibles,
to be together. Yep. That's the only
Friday night. For sure.
Yeah, or Sunday morning, bright and early, because we all went to bed early because we use... Depends on how good the edibles were, I suppose.
Ate an extra one.
Right.
Are you a yoga teacher? Are you a yoga teacher then?
I am not a teacher. I'm going to go back and take my classification. We talked about it a bunch, but I actually have a background in gymnastics. That was what I did my whole life.
Neat.
So the athletics and they're very, very similar for me. So it's kind of nice to still do it without doing gymnastics. I don't exactly have a balance beam in my backyard, you know. Yeah. So yoga is a better option.
Oh, but the principle would be very much the same as yoga for sure.
So neat. Yeah, because a lot of the posing and the dance moves and stuff. Yeah.
So what would you do? Would you have a session before your yoga session? Would you have a medication?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And most of the teachers that we have that we've worked with are very familiar on different strains and terpene profiles that are better for yoga. So we can sometimes advise ahead of time. Because you can do like the cool sips terpenes. We can do, there's just so many different things we can do ahead of time that can open up our mind for yoga better, I find.
Does the terpenes get you high?
Terpenes? No. It just adds to your experience. I know.
Well, that's neat, though. No, because I think that there's a basis to those terpenes, most definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, there's a medical benefit to them for sure. Oh,
yeah, I see it all the time, depending on the case, you know. And it's interesting to watch people discover terpenes on their own and then start to dabble in them, and you see them come back 3 or 4 times with more questions because it's so interesting once they start getting into it.
So is it safe to say that terpenes are medicine then? Like, have you seen a medicinal effect by using them?
Do you know the best way I explain it to people that come in here and don't understand is I say terpenes are kind of the reason why cannabis works. They're the reasons for what makes it good for you. The reasons that give you the feelings. It's just like any other essential oil, right? And a lot of people can kind of understand that. They're what makes it work. So certain terpenes treat certain things. And they can kind of grasp that concept better, I find, when you tell someone. And the terpene profiles here, I only carry, I think, 5 different ones. And I find a lot of people are aerizing them in their bathrooms. They're using them on their concentrates. They're putting them on behind their ears. A lot of people wear the terpenes behind their ears, I find. So I don't know.
Could you use terpenes in a what do you call those things? Those essential oil vaporizers?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the aerizer.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
absolutely can. Yes, for sure. You know what I add mine to is peppermint oil.
I think that
so when I'm not
live in houses that have well-maintained grow-ops that have access to those terpenes, I think that they make them smarter, because I know like a handful of kids who have like lawful, like total like electrician certified grow-ops in the basement, but everyone knows that marijuana stinks, right? And those terpenes, to make those kids so intelligent, it's almost like freaky. You know what I mean? Like they're so powerful, you know? Like, and they just
that's
make
what they
them
say.
So, you know?
It opens up a new neural path, right? When you inhale a terpene.
Yeah.
So when it opens up that new neural path, that works in conjunction with the medication you've already taken. So that's why they're so important. And some of those kids will even wear them around their necks. Like in those oil diffusers. Have you seen those?
Yeah. Actually,
so even some of the some kids, some seniors, I have some patients that all wear them, and then they diffuse terpenes with their other favorite essential oils.
Because if a terpene doesn't get you high, then, you know, it's the perfect medicine. Wow, I love that.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of cool, hey?
You got good taste in medicine, you got good taste in terpenes.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Could you just imagine, wouldn't that be nice to have a room full of smells like what you taste?
Yes.
You know, if you get some really good tasting cannabis, you can have your room smelling like that taste and not burnt cannabis.
Yep. You know what's funny? You know what's crazy? People who don't even smoke, like, for instance, my husband, we were talking about it, he can tell what strain I'm smoking by smelling it because of the terpene profile now.
Yes.
Because he's so sensitive to the different strain smells now, right? Because they all smell so different. But, yeah, he's very sensitive. He's like, oh, there's that pinene today. I don't like that one.
He doesn't like the smell of the pinene one?
The pinene, no, he doesn't like that one. Not his. He likes hazes. He's quite picky, I guess, if he's going to smell it. He doesn't smoke it, so.
Now, so you're doing yoga there. What else? What other services do you offer? And I guess we should get you to say the name of your business.
So yeah,
we're
actually,
the show.
No, we're actually Cannabis Wellness Center is what we are. We're the temple, and what we're doing is we're actually rebranding currently due to like all the stuff going on in our legalization stuff. I didn't really know kind of what this business was initially when I opened it. I just knew I needed a place where people could come together and not be afraid. So this business kind of built itself. And it's changed so much over the last year that we're kind of going through some new stuff. So we're just going to be a cannabis wellness center. So basically what that means is we promote all aspects of health. You want somebody to do Reiki? I have a Reiki master. You want to see a specialist? I have a specialist. If you want to see a nutritionist, we have a nutritionist. I have a chemist that we can work with. So it's all different aspects of cannabis. I don't want people to think that there's not a place they can get the answers, basically. I felt lost.
So it's
and I
like
don't want
an information hub in a sense too, right? Like you're there to educate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So everything we do is free.
I assume you oh, sorry, go ahead. You have like a resource center and your services are free? What?
Yes, all of our services are free. Absolutely. The only thing that's not is when we do community nights. Like I just had a paint your own bong night a couple weeks ago. It was a huge success. People loved it. It was next door is a stained glass place, and they did it with us.
Oh,
so
nice.
we all worked together and made these beautiful handcraft pieces, and it was really cool. So things like that allow us to educate my community for free.
Did you post any of those on your Instagram account?
I sure did. Yes, actually, the picture you guys posted of me sitting at my desk has the one of the painted ones on it.
Oh, really?
It's got leaves all over it. Yes.
Yeah.
I have people trying to buy it off me every day. I'm like, that one's mine. No.
That's so fun. So what was the cost of that? Was it quite?
So it's only It's $85, and what that gives you is the entire pipe. So it's a 3-piece pipe, like it's a full with 2 percolators. So it's not, a little plastic pipe or anything. And then it gives you the instruction from the artist next door, and all of the glass paint and everything you need to cure it afterwards and stuff. And then you get to go home with your pipe.
Oh.
So it's kind of nice to go home with your pipe too, right?
Well, you got a one of a kind, wouldn't you?
Right. Yeah, and you can make anything you want on it. It was neat to hear people share their stories of what they're painting on their pipes, because they're painting on them because of their journey with cannabis.
That's groovy. Oh.
What would you paint on yours, Alicia?
Oh, geez. A purple rose, because purple is the color of the crone's ribbon.
Ah.
And a rose is beautiful, but it's got thorns. So a Crohn's diagnosis can be beautiful, but it's got thorns. Use it to be beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just don't grab it with the thorns. Don't grab a thorn. Don't grab a thorn.
So that's awesome. So do you have a lot, you have a big turnout then? Because how big is your cannabis community over there in Alberta? What you got going on?
It's actually a lot bigger than you thought. It's kind of, so I was, like I said, my business has been developing, so I've looked at a few numbers lately, and I got a stat I want to see if you guys have heard yet, because it blew my mind when I heard it. So in Canada, the most recent published study I saw said there's 175,000 medical patients prescribed at the time of the study. Now, out of that 175,000 patients across Canada, 75,000 of them are in Alberta.
Really? Wow.
So we kind of had a social uprising as a province in a way. And said, fine, if the police are going to arrest us, then we'll all go to the doctor and go around you. Wow. So for the whole country, we have almost as many in Alberta as the rest of the country. So it's a little different here, to be honest.
Yeah, because, I always look at Alberta as being a really conservative place. I know that there's lots of advocates that are out there, but as far as provincially, as far as government run, yeah,
very, very conservative. So I guess as a province, we all got sick of going to jail and just said, fine, we'll all go to the doctor. That's it. Good enough. And so kind of everybody did. So finding that out, that's why I was a little surprised on how liberal the laws were for Alberta. But I guess, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
So that's a service.
Where do you buy marijuana in Alberta?
See, we're all used to getting it by mail because we've never had dispensaries here. We order it online. So all of us ordered online from different places. So you don't get as many, let's say, street dealers or people here that you can kind of get. We're all used to having it delivered to our mailboxes.
Wow.
Kind of how we all do it.
You look at a place like Hamilton, Tracy had mentioned there in her post, there was 47 dispensaries just in Hamilton alone. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And we have, that I know of, that are actual locations, there's 2 in Calgary, but there is no way they have signs or anything like that. That's not something that, there are locations, 2 or 3, but they're not something that is advertised like it is in other places. Because we just lost our Edmonton one that was underground. So it's kind of nasty.
Do people think you're a business and all? Do people think that you guys sell cannabis? I know Wayne has people walk in the door.
1 out of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 out of 2 people that come in ask me to purchase. And to be honest, I wish we had dispensaries all over the place. But unfortunately, right now, I think I'm going to do more with the education end of it that I'm going to from jail. So right now I'm just kind of hanging in there and waiting. Because go ahead.
Do you offer the service of connecting patients to doctors for getting their ACMR paper signed?
ACMR, yeah. And we are 100% grow positive here. Our physicians are grow positive. We're grow positive. So we are the only ones actually in Airdrie that have all of the growing equipment. So we can get you started, start to finish, with a consultant and everything into your house once we get your paperwork done.
Wow.
People need, I believe, in designated growing. Half of these people can't afford the prices that the government's putting out. It's obnoxious. So let's get people growing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can grow for a lot less than you can purchase, that's for sure.
That's right. Plus a lot of
even still, even still, if a patient's growing, it still costs money to grow, and there's a lot of patients that are going without because they just can't even afford to grow.
That's exactly it. And that's why I've been kind of putting a list together of designated growers recently to try and help people with
that. And then that way once you got a list, because I know, and as long as the people, like, we used to do shows for Treating Yourself magazine, and, back then it was the MMAR program, and people would come up and they would say, hey, I'll be a designated grower, here's my number and name and stuff like that. But it's just, sometimes it's just so hard. You hear so many stories about people that are getting burned by their designated growers.
It's so often, and that's why I'm so picky about who I would recommend, because I've seen people get really badly burned. Yeah. I've seen people with 250 plant counts get burned.
Yeah.
It happens, and that's the scary part. So we've been trying to fight with a bunch of different distributors and wholesalers to try and get our prices down so that we can get patients growing for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
And due to the kind of facility I am, they can kind of put it under their health spending account and write some of that off.
Oh, good. Good.
So that helps a little bit. But, yeah, we have doctors that like growing too, though, which is kind of nice because some of the clinics around in Alberta don't do a lot of growing licenses.
Now, do you guys do anybody across Canada, or does it have to be on site?
Yeah.
So somebody has to be right there?
Nope, across Canada. We can do anybody, anywhere. Our doctors have a large reach as well. We have a few different physicians that also do Medio if needed, if the patient's too sick or in hospital or anything like that as well. And I don't have the doctors actually in my facility. I kind of believe in keeping the LPs and the doctors and everybody out so that this stays for the community.
Yeah, exactly.
If that kind of makes sense, staying not. I think that this is for the patients, not necessarily for all that. So I kind of do it all, but in a different way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, it sounds like you get your hands full from diagnosis to products that help them consume. You've got everything covered in there for sure.
Yeah, but it's smart to be independent, And the thing is, how is it like doctors in Alberta without a clinic like you? Do they sign, or do they stiff patients like they do in Saskatchewan? They're like, go buy from the street. I'm not going to give you a prescription.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. There's not enough scientific evidence. Yeah. We have 2 or 3 kids that are really good. But that's kind of where it ends. We don't have a ton.
It's still that stigma that they would rather write a prescription for a narcotic or a antipsychotic than for
how about
a
everybody's favorite? Is it Nabalone? Is that what it's called?
Correct.
The synthetic version?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's funny is I've even had a patient in as early as this week come in and speak about Nabalone and saying, I've got this prescription. They're telling me it's $90 a week to take this.
Oh my God.
And they said they won't sign for cannabis. And I'm going, what? Okay, why don't we try let's try the real thing first and do the do the chemicals later, So these doctors are going to prescribe a chemical version of the perfectly normal plant right here before they're going to prescribe cannabis, which is so sad. So sad.
It is.
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff we see fairly often around here, unfortunately.
See, but unfortunately, all doctors know is tests and pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
So when it comes to cannabis, unless you've done independent research and educated yourself as a smart doctor should and would, they're really naive to cannabis, and they all believe it's a narcotic, which is such an unfair characterization of brilliant cannabis. To say that it's a narcotic is an outright insult.
Oh, it disgusts me every time I hear that. You know, and people always say, well, I'm afraid to get high. I'm afraid to get high. And I said, have you ever taken a narcotic? So you're going to be way higher. Like, that's a choice. You don't need to, you know, I try to explain it to people. You don't have to take it all at once, right?
Yeah. And there's
those narcotics, it's not the same. You're high, that's it, right now.
Yeah. And some people just think that there's just marijuana. They don't realize there's so many different strains and the ways that you can consume it, and you know, knowing that there's CBD strains out there where you're not getting that, you know, euphoric effect.
Well, as soon as I make it into bath salts or topicals, nobody has a problem with it.
Yeah. Yep. You're not smoking it.
Just smoking it. Nobody has a problem with it. Bath salts or topicals, though.
So in your world, is CBD a big thing also? Like, is that a highly sought after product?
Big time, yeah. It's very, very highly sought after. People would have it. I find most people have it in their head that CBD is okay and THC is bad. And to be honest, I know it's silly, but I kind of let them start there because at least their mind is open enough to ask questions.
They're talking to you.
Right, which is a lot better than them telling me it's bad. So a lot of the time I'll say, I don't want you to be afraid of THC, and we can definitely talk about THC later. So let's get you started seeing a doctor, talking about CBD. Let's at least start there, because you almost guarantee they're going to come back after they see it's helped a little bit for more information, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just like the door opening a little bit, but I believe in THC too.
Because if they've only heard of the negative, and then you know, you can present the CBD, you know, where all of a sudden, you know, they're hearing about the children and some benefits, and their minds will change. Maybe they'll start looking at it a different way, for sure.
And that's what I find. It's just kind of like a door opener for some of them that have been afraid to ask. Yeah. So it makes it a little easier.
Okay, Alicia,
but I
we got
definitely know there's benefits.
3 minutes to the break, Alicia.
Well, what about another question?
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, Valentine's question.
Ooh, it's time. Let's look here. What do we got? Just looking. Do you want to do one, Alicia? Or do you want me to?
No, you go ahead.
All right, I got one. How many facial muscles are involved in passionate kissing? 23, 34, or 48? And that's passionate kissing, not just your regular kiss.
Wow. We got 48 muscles in our face?
I know, right? Good answer. I like that answer the best.
It takes 48 muscles to move your lips?
Yeah. 34, you guys.
34?
34.
Mm-hmm. But it's just involved in passionate kissing. It doesn't say how many. Maybe we have 87 muscles, but you only use 34, supposing.
Only 34 of them for that passionate kiss.
Wow. Wow, really?
I know.
34.
That's a lot of muscles. I'm going to tell my husband I need a nap next time. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Working out.
A workout for sure.
Work. Too funny.
All right. Have you got another question?
Let's see. I'm just looking.
I was going to ask you, Al, what did you buy your wife for Valentine's Day? Did you tell me that?
We went out for dinner. We went out for dinner on Saturday, and then we I bought her that special card, the one talking about never being together, and then I laughed. But yeah, we went out for dinner Saturday night.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
That's what she wanted.
And Jenny, what did you get your man, and what did he get you? What did your wife get you out?
Yeah, did you get
Or
you went for dinner.
We went for dinner. And she got me a card too.
Oh.
Yeah, we both got each other cards, and we went out for dinner.
That's right.
Yeah. There's enough chocolate around our house.
There isn't around mine. Not if I have anything to say.
It's medicated.
Yeah, I shouldn't assume. That's totally like commercialism. Hey, like assuming that. Like I should have said, "What did you do for Valentine's Day?" But yeah, you said about the cards and then for lunch. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's
ladies.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's time for us to take a break.
All right.
Time to pay some bills. All right. Okay. Today's bumper music is by Lefty Nelson and his song "Marijuana." And that's who he wants to marry. That's his girlfriend. That's the love of his life. And then when we return, we will continue this conversation with our guest, Genny Guenther. You're listening to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. We are live here at lifestyleradio.net and .ca. See you in a minute.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
She wore a white lace dress that fit so tight, so smoking hot. She lit up the night. Love was in the air, everywhere. No one else will ever compare to
Man, have you been to Cannabis yet? Cannabis, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck and wholesaler Nexus. Cannadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Cannadays can help. They're a P.A.C.E information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Cannadays. Have your say without saying a word. Cannadays.ca.
Hi, this is Al Graham of the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the P.A.C.E Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
This is Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Catch me every Monday at 4:20 on The Reefer Reporters, aired on lifestyleradio.net. Available for replay or download on Lifestyle Radio or Spreaker.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
I told Warner I'd take her away back to the good old US of A. When it was time to leave, she'd have to lay low. With a little bit of luck, we'd be in San Diego. Yeah,
hey, we're back. Welcome to the program. We are being broadcasted, as always, live, lifestyleradio.net. Catch our podcasts afterwards at Mixcloud, YouTube, iTunes, and if you're down in the USA, you can catch iHeartRadio. You were on there as well. Tonight, our bumper music featured Lefty Nelson in the song Marijuana. Yes, he wants to marry Juana. And if you enjoyed his music, please look him up online, because that's where I found him. Tonight on the show, we have our guest, Genny Guenther of Maya's Temple, and joint host, Alicia Yashcheshen. Well, Alicia and Genny, we got in the last segment here. We got, got some time. Where shall we go now, Alicia?
How about you tell us about your 420 events in Alberta? What does that look like?
That's interesting, actually. Yeah, our 420 events are small. They're very, very small. Yeah, pretty tiny. They're getting smaller and smaller, I guess, as time goes on, as it's becoming more and more normal, right? Here, I have a parachute, so you can probably take a wild guess what I do on 420 with my parachute.
Oh. Did you parachute into the event?
No, but I might share my parachute with a friend. So we sealed up all the holes.
Cannabis leaf on it.
Now you're talking.
Yeah,
now you're talking. So yeah, we did a lot of different things we've seen around here. Now, as far as like, I'm not in our main, like in the main center, Calgary. I'm about 30 minutes outside, and so we don't see a lot of action here in Airdrie at all. For 420, actually. Yeah. I had a big sale and no one came out.
It was Keith Fagan there, Calgary 420.
Yeah. That's who does it. That's what I mean. Those are the guys that have been going strong all these years and working so hard, and it makes me sad that the big community doesn't come out and help.
Yeah.
But Alberta's just still too scared. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, eh? You got to break that ice, get people to show that, hey, it's not so evil.
Yep. So. And that's why people like Keith and some of the other clubs and stuff that are trying to still speak out, it is helping. We're getting there, but it really is small steps here in Alberta.
Do you think that cannabis legalization might get more people to come out to your 420s?
It already has. Since they started announcing it, was like everybody gave people the green light to not feel bad about it anymore.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm even seeing it now. More and more people are going, well, since it's going to be legal anyway, then I thought I'd come in and talk to you. People say that a lot.
So what's your province going to do for legalization?
So they gave us pretty lax rules. But in Alberta, there's one thing that I find interesting that a lot of people maybe not have thought about, but like in my town, there's not a single place for commercial real estate where you could actually open here with what's set up for what the government has passed down, because there's a liquor store in every single complex in my town.
What's alcohol?
So you can't have them. They don't want them in the same spot. So they're basically kind of making it impossible to be able to find real estate to even do it.
Like, I know they don't want them sold in the same store, but...
Not in the same store, but they're saying within the same vicinity, they're saying now.
Oh, wow, really?
So I guess and that's what I found the biggest problem is it's all up to interpretation on who interprets that. How far is far? What's the same vicinity?
They don't know.
I'd like to see more of that, right? Makes it hard for us to plan. And then I heard the same rumor you did, Alicia, that they may not even legalize coming up July 1st. I heard that snickering behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah, right?
Now see, there's a big question on this July 1st thing, and I saw some of this on Twitter today. And Trudeau says, well, I didn't say July 1st. And I know Bill Blair says, well, July 1st isn't a good day. It's because of probably Cannabis Day and Canada Day. But I know that their Justice Minister, I can't pronounce her full name, she said back in late November in their, committee meetings, said that they wanted to have a framework all set up by July.
Framework, right, which is a different statement than legalization.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same thing, but they want everything in place. So I look at it, buy, then. Now, they've also talked about, I don't know if you've heard this as well, Alicia, about a 12-week delay afterwards legalization.
I heard that too, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. And so all these patients, after they raid these dispensaries like in Regina, Saskatchewan, what are patients supposed to do? Like, I work with clients who don't have access to credit cards or money orders, and they can't order online. And you know what? If you're Aboriginal and you go in to one of these places that like they're run by LPs, they won't help you. They'll put you on an alleged fictionary waiting list, and you'll never get your green card, and you'll never be able to order from LPs because they racial profile, because I've seen it for myself.
Wow.
It's bad in places. It can be awful, and the patients are the ones who get left behind. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
I see it firsthand too, all the time.
And it's all run by those LPs. So they have an internal policy of picking and choosing whom they see they allow see their doctor, and then which LP you order from.
Jeez, that's totally wrong.
It's a lawsuit waiting to happen, but okay, that's legalization, I guess. But then in the medical sense, there's still always a need regardless of legalization. So...
That's exactly my point too. Unfortunately, it is something we're going to have to deal with because there are patients that's their only choice.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
So it's there's room for everything. I just think the system there's a lot more work to be done. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I just don't want to see patients left behind with all this.
Yeah. We need you to stand out there at the roadway. Hey, we sign everybody.
We sign, yeah, exactly. Come in. Good for you. Hey, it's Alberta. Everybody has their green card.
Yeah, we're all patients. We're all patients.
The whole province, we're all patients. It's fine. I don't think I have a friend who doesn't have it because that's just the way it is here.
Yeah.
So strange.
So then, in terms of your green card, what do you carry? Just like a prescription from your doctor? Like, what's a green card?
It's not a real thing. That's what's even more crazy. People like the word green card isn't real, right? Like there's so much crap out there. I always tell people, it's like if you're taking antibiotics, do you carry a card saying this is my antibiotics card?
No.
No, it's on the outside of your bottle. And I'm like, that's all it is, right? So I try and explain it in the best way I can, but some people are looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well, they're even
the
talking
card
about
makes them feel safe.
like when you're even under the recreational model, people won't have a green card, and then they're going to try to, you got a couple of pre-rolled doobies that are in your container, and they say if you get caught with illegal cannabis, that you're going to be charged. How would they know that cannabis that is in that joint is illegal or not?
That's what I say all the time too. I'm like, do you have a roadside DNA test going on for who grew this plant? How are they ever going to know?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's too many strains. There's no way they could keep track. It's just not possible.
So in Alberta, you guys can have, like here in Ontario, we just got government-run stores. That's all they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're talking like 40 or something when they start with, and they got more than that dispensaries in Hamilton, never mind a whole province.
It's not enough, not even close.
So are you going to have private retail, or is it, how's your store situation going to be?
It looks like they're going to do private retail for us. So they're doing, I'm seeing actually what's the interesting part is a lot of people from Ontario, after your framework was introduced, came here looking for real estate almost immediately. Because ours is, you should see how many of all of those dispensary owners are already here.
Do the people have to, is it just a matter of going to the town and applying for a license, or is there something that, or the province going to give out so many licenses to
it's interesting because I've even heard that the province is already giving out licenses behind the scenes without opening it up actually to the public.
Wow.
So the thing is, it's sneaky, right? Is it the big corporations getting in there first? We don't know.
They're not announcing enough.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
So, everybody asks me, what's your plan? And I'm like, I honestly don't know. It's so sneaky. Who knows?
Now, what about...
I don't think they know.
Like, I don't know, in Saskatchewan's situation, whether you both have an issue, like here we can't consume in public. So somebody who's stuck in a condo that doesn't allow the smoking of cannabis in someone's private dwelling can't even go outside. Like, is yours there in Alberta going to be just the same as tobacco, where at least you can still smoke outside?
And that's
Go ahead.
And how are they going to? And I've heard that they don't want anybody medicating in public places too.
Yeah, that's
no pollution.
Yeah. Like, so are they going to allow vapor lounges in your province? I think I know here in Ontario, there's it's still in discussion, but.
Oh no, they're nasty here. No, I've heard that that's not a go here so far.
Really? Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they won't change it. But I haven't heard so far that that's something we're looking at right away anyway. If it is, I think it'll be down the road.
Yeah, well, Alicia,
I've even heard. What?
Alicia, can these things end up before the courts?
What do you mean?
Well, as far as these, if people are being told they can't consume in public, they can't consume in their own dwelling, if they own a condo, and there's no place where they can go, no business where they can consume it. Could they go to court and say, well, the federal law allows us to consume cannabis, but our provincial laws won't allow us to consume it anywhere?
Well, I guess in terms of consuming it, like vaporizing, I would say that you would have a fight. But I guess if there's that fine line, like of course you can take anything to court and get a judicial review of it and see what the precedent has said in terms of that case. But in terms of smoking amongst other people, like I don't think that anyone gets that right since we've come into these no smoking laws, and I appreciate where you go into casinos where they still have tobacco smoking rooms. So one time I lit a joint in there and that was refused. So the laws used to say that wherever you could smoke tobacco legally, you could smoke cannabis as well.
That's
so why
I
would that
thought.
change? And then you're creating this law that people are going to have to challenge. But I do agree that no one should ever be subjected to someone else's smoke or vapor.
Right.
But then I also agree with your point, Al, that if you can't vape in your condo and you can't go to a local place that's safe, then your rights are being violated.
Or mobility issues could be.
Yeah.
For sure. And
Or
if you use that medicine in your vehicle, and you're going to have the po sticking their head in your vehicle, oh, does it smell like marijuana in here, right? So that is a delicate situation, and I do agree with vapor lounges. What's the harm in a vapor lounge? It's no different than a coffee shop. So it's well, hopefully we'll figure these things out, but it's just it shakes my head at these asinine theories a vapor lounge. How is that so dangerous?
Is it the fear of the unknown?
Yes.
But
most of the time, in my experience,
hookah lounge. People go to hookah lounges all the time. That's no different. It's just just replace the hookah.
I know, but it's the product that's in the hookah. Right?
But what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, everybody, a lot of people out there, cannabis is illegal. Some people, have some really bad thoughts on what cannabis can do to you. And, well, even though I haven't really followed the Senate reports, but I'm hearing a little bit and reading a little bit on the news. And some of it is pretty reefer madness. Some of the senators.
I know, but I guess that stigma, it's going to take a lot to denounce that. And thankfully, pot smokers are really about the education, just like our guests, because that's important. Like having a dispensary is great, but education is key, especially at this point, because
it is.
You have a lot of people jumping into the cannabis industry that know nothing about it, and then they have these opinions about it. Like they don't have the background, and I find that a lot of activism people are getting pushed to the side with people who don't even know what is, you know what I mean? Like the history of cannabis.
I could not agree more.
Hey?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Illegal market.
Yep. You get people, I got gas station owners coming in and going, hey, I want to be a dispensary with you. And I'm going, why? You don't know. This is not a delicate industry. This is a medication. This is a big life commitment kind of thing to me. It's not a flash in the pan kind of thing for a lot of us, like it is for some people, right?
That's right. 15 years for this guy.
Yeah. And I'm a newer activist, advocate, educator, I don't know, but I know that seems to be the only thing that gets through to people.
Yeah.
We can yell and scream all we want, but educating them, everybody's actually listening sometimes.
Yeah, there is. There are a lot of people listening, more and more people listening. And, cannabis is in the news more often now, and more people are, more people are curious, and people are getting, the opiate drugs, and they're looking for some other option instead of a set of them, and, look what's happened in North America. We got an opiate, epidemic going on, and if people knew that they had an alternative choice, things might be a little different.
You bet.
Yeah.
I know that if I had been given a healthier alternative choice rather than I don't even know how many hundreds of opiates I've taken in my lifetime, I would have taken that choice.
Yeah.
If I had known how harmless, and that's why I want other people to start making a better choice. But I mean, even our government and our doctors are not allowed to even prescribe it as a first-line medication.
Oh. Really?
Did you know that? That's what's super gross. You have to prove that you've tried a pharmaceutical first before they can technically legally prescribe you.
Yeah, there was something on the MMAR that was like that. That said that it had to be a last option.
Which is so disgusting. So the one thing you don't need a liver panel for is the one thing that you have to at least try some kind of chemical first in order to get it. So those are the kind of hand ties that our doctors are stuck with too, though, because they don't necessarily all believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, take toxin first. Okay, Alicia, we got about 4 minutes until we go to the shout out.
Well, maybe we'll ask our guest if she wanted to share her brilliant talent with us.
Oh,
that's
boy.
Right. There was something in the posting about you singing.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
You snuck that in there, Alicia. I was proud of you. You sneaky. My mom was quite happy to see you snuck that in there. I won't lie.
And now here we are, the final minutes of the show, and we're sneaking it in again.
I'm going to sneak that in there. I don't forget your old career, yeah. No, I was thinking, I thought about it today. You should see me singing sappy love songs today in case you were going to ask me. So I decided that if I was going to sing, we were going to try a little Eddie James. What do you guys think?
It's up to you entirely. So
yeah.
Ooh.
Whatever you'd like to share with us, we'd love it.
All right. Okay, 1 second. I'll do a little bit. How's that sound? It's been a long time. I used to sing about 5 years ago. I'm just queuing this up here. Hold on. Up until recently.
Oh, yeah?
And I spent most of my younger life singing, and I didn't really have time to do much else. All right, I'll try a little bit. All right, you guys ready?
Okay.
All right. Oh, let me just move it along here. Sorry, guys. Here it comes. My love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is all right, that's enough, don't you think?
Awesome.
Oh, I love it.
A long time ago. That feels like a million years ago I used to sing.
You got any of your music online?
Oh yeah, lots. It's if you just on my Facebook I have a bunch. I do songs here and there when I have time, kind of. I just sing lullabies for my daughter now these days. She thinks it's too much production for bedtime, but I don't think so.
That's awesome. That's a gift, right? Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So she doesn't sing along with you?
She does. She actually loves to sing, and she's got quite a little voice on her, so I'm hoping. Mom's got her fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you hadn't sounds like it's been a while. You haven't been active at it a lot lately. Maybe that's something that, you know.
Comes back again, and I actually left music because I was so sick. I was so sick. It was the only thing in the world that you couldn't have told me there would be anything that would take me off stage, but I guess physical health is the one thing that can always be your boss.
Yes.
So that's actually one of the reasons I stopped singing. And
Gee, that's a good analogy that like illness can be your boss. I've never thought of it that way. That's so true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to take my life back, and now maybe I'll start singing again. You never know.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
You never know, right?
Yeah. Maybe this is the trigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, ladies, we're down to the final few minutes here of the program. So this is the shout out time. Let people know where people can find you, and if there's anybody, person, place, website, something you want to promote, this is the time to do it.
All right. Well, I guess what I'd like to tell everybody is we do tons of fun events here at the temple. So you can find us at cannabiswellness.ca. We have education seminars, fun nights. We'll have movie nights, yoga, wake and bake kind of yoga, all that kind of stuff. So, pretty much all of our stuff can be found, including my story and the stories of some of our patients at cannabiswellness.ca.
Super. Very good. As I said earlier, I was reading your story as the show was going on.
Yeah, I like to put it out there because I think, you know what, I think it makes me face it daily too. It makes me remember why I love the plant so much. I
believe that, is that when you share your story, you help educate other people by doing so.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm sure you agree, Alicia.
Oh, for sure. That's a form of activism. By telling your story, it empowers others.
Yeah. Alicia, have you got a shout out, something you want to mention?
Well,
say happy Valentine's Day to somebody.
Yeah. No, I'm happy.
Ooh.
Happily single.
That's there. Nice work, Al. That was smooth.
You got a cat or something, don't you? Dog?
What a guy. So, I would just like to wish everyone a happy Love Day and send love to everyone who kind of needs a little bit of loving today. I spent my day having tea with a client, so I liked that. That was a good day, but it was snowing, so it was kind of the negative day. I know, right? I'm so over it. But
well, our Valentine's Day here was nice and sunny. High of 5. The snow was melting, and the sun was shining.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
We had a good Valentine's Day here for sure.
I'm heading home after this to be with my husband and snuggle up, so it's time.
Yes, it's getting there. Okay, just a reminder that I will be back next week with my joint host, Kim Cooper, and her scheduled guest is Jerry Martin. as we go on to continue to talk to people who are advocating cannabis education and people who are helping patients. You can find the P.A.C.E Radio Show on Facebook, and we're on Twitter at P.A.C.E Radio, and we're also on Instagram as P.A.C.E Radio Show, and we are on the web as pace-online.ca. Thank you to go to our sponsors, the friendly folks and helpful folks at CC Nexus. They've got over 2,000 cannabis strains, so I can say that they are Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. They can be found at ccnexus.global. And also a big thank you to Cannadays here in Campbellford for providing P.A.C.E with a location to do the broadcast and to help educate people about the benefits of cannabis. To our producer, Al Rapp, there at Lifestyle Radio. He always gets us to the air. And a big thank you to you, Jenny, for coming to the program. We appreciate you coming onto the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
And that's Jenny
really
with the
fun. I enjoyed it.
That's Jenny with the G, right?
Yep. That's it. Jenny with the G.
And is that your Instagram thing, Jenny with the G?
It is, Jenny with the G. Yep.
Jenny with the G. And that way you can see some of those pictures of the bongs you made, right?
Yeah, the bongs we made, and we have a cute page called Bong Shop Dogs too, and it has all the dogs that come in to visit us and our patients.
Really? You got therapy dogs too? Cool.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. They wear funny clothes. You'll see them.
Good. We'll have to check that out. Thank you to you too, Alicia, for everything you do for the program, getting your guts.
Ditto. Thank you.
And always a big thank you to our listeners for tuning in the program. We always appreciate our listeners. Thank you, and good night.
Night.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.